Thursday morning, and it's time for Tech for Seniors Live, where technology gets its deserved deep dive. This isn't happening via Zoom, so we can't see who's joining the show. So please sign in to the chat box below as we gather around the screen, both far and wide, with curiosity as our ever-trusty guide. We'll navigate the digital seas, a knowledgeable crew, exploring all the tech tips, both old and new. No need for cameras, no need for dress. Just bring your questions and we'll address. From gadgets to apps and all the tech lore, we're here to help, to teach, and much more. So type away in the chat. Don't be shy. Our tech-savvy hosts are here to reply. It's Thursday morning. Let the tech talk flow at the Tech for Seniors Live, the best tech show.
Good morning. I'm Ron Brown. This is Tech for Senior Live. It is July 25th, 2024, and the world stopped as we know it. Last Friday, I got up, I looked in Australia, and there was no groceries being sold. People in New Zealand were lined up getting fuel. They couldn't get fuel. Abu Dhabi, no flights were flying. Heathrow Airport, nothing happening. Chicago, hardly any flights taking off. What happened? Well, we learned all about CrowdStrike. What the heck? Who was CrowdStrike? And you know what? They're sorry. And they're going to give their customers a $10 gift certificate for the $300 billion worth of damage. $10 gift certificate. Well, we're going to talk about that today on Tech for Senior Live. We're going to talk about all the news, all the tech news. He always gets me on that. All the tech news of the week. And we have a great panel and lots to talk about today. So we look forward to, oh, by the way, thank you for coming. I forgot to tell you, we do appreciate your time and your and coming to listen to us talk for about an hour. Now, some of you are wondering who we are. Well, we're a group of seniors who like to talk and talk and talk, and we talk so much that we even have a Monday show, and we've been talking for 5 years, and people seem to still keep listening to us, so we keep talking, right? So we have a Monday show, and it is, of course, it's a Zoom meeting, and we broadcast that out to YouTube. But it is a physical. You get to come and talk and see people and interact with people. And we have a really great show each week. And we'll be doing it, as I said, for 5 years. But it is a Zoom meeting. Now, if you want to come, and we would encourage you to come, let me just grab this and we'll bring this up. This is our website, and you can go there and it'll give you all the information to join our Zoom meeting. And if you haven't, it's a lot of fun. Great group of people, lots of fun, and we have a really good group that comes every Monday. But we aren't on a Zoom meeting now. We are broadcasting this out to Facebook and to YouTube, but it isn't a Zoom meeting. So all you people that have logged in to our Zoom meeting today, we're not there. We'll see you Monday. So, and the other thing is we can't see you. We have no idea who you are today. So if you put your name in the chat, let us know who you are, what the weather is, And did CrowdStrike affect you? And or do you know what CrowdStrike is? Well, you certainly will after today, because we're going to talk about that. And you might even get a $10 gift certificate for all those missed flights you had and all the disasters. And as you'll see today, Delta still isn't back on their feet. So we're going to be talking about all that this week. What else can I talk about? Maybe I'll let me just we'll take this off, and we will maybe introduce our esteemed panel today. It's esteemed, but hold on, it's the same group that's always here. So anyway, let me introduce Huey Poplik from Bradenton, Florida. He's of course the co-host on Monday. How are you doing, Huey?
I'm doing great. For some reason or another, I can sleep all night and wake up in the morning and I'm tired. So
well,
I'm dreaming a lot.
Woke up in the morning.
At least you woke up.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
a
no
good
dirt
thing.
on top either. Yeah.
And of course, we have Bob Gastija from Los Lunas, New Mexico. Bob, of course, is the face of Tech for Senior. He's our promotional man, the security guy, a man of many talents. And what else can I say about you today, Bob? What would you like me to say?
Stop. No. Stop while you're ahead.
Stop.
And while I'm ahead.
All right. Okay. Sounds good. All right. Well, we look forward. We'll be talking to you soon. And of course, we have Ray Baxter from Pine, Arizona, who is the president of APCUG. He's the treasurer of APCUG. Man of many talents. He's our music director on our Monday show. A really nice guy, and we have a lot of fun with Ray. Welcome, Ray.
Thank you, Ron. Great. Really glad to be here, as the saying goes.
Yeah, it's always fun to get together on Thursday. I guess what our audience doesn't know is we would do this probably even if we didn't do a show. We just like to get together and talk for an hour, right? They think we're doing it for them. We're really just doing it for ourselves. And
Ron, don't give away our secret.
Oh, yeah, I better not do that. All right. Anyway, Huey, is there anyone listening to us?
There is actually quite a few today.
Really?
Let me jump down here.
Mike Saunders, overcast and 72. Sally Ann, had highs in the 80s and now have highs in the 70s with lows in the 50s. Ed Weiss, 80 degrees, cloudy in central New Jersey. Liz Milford, high from Ohio, partly cloudy and 76. Dick Vogel, good morning, everyone from Sanford, Florida. Gerald Smith, West Seattle, 61 degrees, overcast, 72 this afternoon. Richard Clarkson, Southern California, 77 degrees, going up to hot, 99 to 100 later on. Steve Powell, Kirkland, Washington, 60 degrees and overcast. Bob Baxter, Bellevue, Washington, clouds, 73 degrees Fahrenheit this afternoon. Bernard, Sterling Heights Computer Club, Detroit, Michigan. Ooh, hot, 88 degrees. Richard Clarkson, CloudStrike didn't affect me at all. Didn't affect Southwest as they still use Richard, you're not on the show. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Don't give away our plot here. They use 95 for flight information. That's right. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Michael Daniels. Well, thank you, Michael. We do appreciate you. Thank you very much for your donation. That's great. Thank you so much. Michael, of course, has his own community. He's very popular speaker on various forums. He's a techie guru, a good friend of ours, and has done many shows on Tech for Senior for us. Thanks, Michael.
I watched his tip yesterday because he had a live show on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Michael always does lots of shows. Thank you, Michael, for coming and listening to us.
Thank you for the donation.
And thank you for the donation.
Very much. Thank you.
JJ, good morning. 71 degrees in Waukegan, Illinois. Well, I haven't seen JJ for a while. Was JJ on? I don't think he was on last few weeks.
I'm not sure if he's been there or not, but if he has, he's been quiet.
Being quiet. Okay. All right. There we go. So, all right. Well, let's get on with the show, as we say, because we have lots to talk about today. So,
and Ron, just a reminder that I haven't sent out my newsletter yet, but my AI, Let's Talk AI, is this Friday, and I'll be sending out the newsletter with the link, which is the same link as last month. Will be sent out. If you're not on my mailing list, you still have time to get on this month's by just emailing me and letting me know.
So with the link in there, you don't have to re-register. Just the link.
No,
just hit the link, and you're good. Okay.
Yeah, they're registered. They'll get the newsletter, and the link is in there.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, let's talk a little bit about Delta's IT outage woes are costing the airline $350 million and counting. Delta has canceled 6,700 flights since last week's outage as it struggles to communicate with workers. So the far-reaching effects of this outage, which of course CrowdStrike, for those of you who don't know, CrowdStrike is a security firm, and they create security for Microsoft servers to protect them from the bad guys. And they were doing an update, which of course didn't go well, and it created a worldwide, not just in the United States, worldwide shutdown of the world as we know it today. But just before we get there, and we'll talk about that in just a minute, I wanted to give you the other story, which you may or may not know. For those of you who listen to the Car Edge, not this one. Hold on. Was it this one? Right. So most of you haven't heard about CDK. Well, CDK is a software company who provides management services to car dealers. And about 60% of the car dealers in the United States use CDK software to manage their inventory, but also to sell cars. And from my understanding, it is extremely difficult to sell a car manually. In other words, you absolutely need their software to run the system to be able to be in a dealership and sell this. And they got hit not by an innocent upgrade, but they got hit by, of course, a cyber attack, and their system was down for almost 2 weeks. Now, the rumor is that they did pay the $25 million ransom to get up and running. Yep. However, the problem is that, of course, a lot of dealers went bankrupt. There's probably 30 bankruptcy dealers that went bankrupt in that 2 weeks because they couldn't sell any cars, like big dealerships. So there will be the feeding frenzy has already started with the lawsuits that are going to be implemented against CDK, and the feeling is they probably won't survive. But they're a big company, and this is going to go on for a very long time. So I guess my point is that it's not just the security with the Microsoft that we're talking about, but it's that was a really big deal. It didn't get a lot of play or a lot of press like the last one
on the Security News Roundup.
You did, Bob. You did get it. You did. But the other question then, of course, like we heard earlier, Southwest Airlines, of course, did just fine. They rolled along and they had no trouble with their reservations, as was pointed out, because they're using Windows 95 and Windows 3.1, right? Now, can you sort of think where our next attack might be? I mean, how secure can Windows 95 and 3.1 be, right? So I guess there's a movement now, and I guess this is what I really wanted to talk about today. There was a move. CrowdStrike Microsoft outage prompts calls for more tech competition. Are we too focused in these companies? Are we? What do you think? I mean, this is not acceptable. It's not acceptable that we can shut the world down just because someone makes a little mistake in doing an update. And Bob, did you read about that? They're offering their cut. I couldn't believe this. The CEO is going to
Well,
get
they've already pulled that back. Yeah, they offered a $10 gift card.
$10 gift certificate.
right.
Are you out of your
But
mind?
nuts. Yep.
That is crazy.
For
That
people
is
sitting in airports, $10 wouldn't even buy them a drink while they're waiting.
Are you like? I think the CEO's got to go. I mean, his heads are going to roll. That's just ridiculous. But I mean, is this crazy? Like, there's something wrong here. You can't. This is just nuts, right?
Well, they took a shortcut because they figured it would save them some money, and it backfired. Those things do happen. Sometimes people make stupid decisions. This was one of them, and it has had worldwide ramifications.
Now, if there is a silver lining, for me, the silver lining is that this was all due to a computer glitch. But what if this was one of the world's bad guys doing this intentionally? And I think that's the issue that's facing all of us, and that could happen.
Yeah,
in our lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, it shut hospitals down. It shut operating rooms down. It shut everything down. And remember,
if it's a bad guy, we're talking about an infection. This was an update. Everybody is always told do updates because updates patch vulnerabilities in the software. In this case, you should have waited a day before you did the update and you would have been okay. But because you hurried up and did the update like you were told to do, that's what got you into trouble.
Well, the other thing is that I think it was a year ago, or was it 2 years ago, where Rogers, our big national, it would be like Rogers is our big national 5G network in Canada. They did an update in their system, and the same thing happened, and that shut down the country. It shut down all the ATMs. It shut everything down for 24 hours, and they were hauled up in front of the government. They were fined. They were really, really in big trouble. I mean, is it, I don't know. This just seems, I just feel helpless. I just feel so like, what are we going to do with this stuff? Right. And as there's more and more consolidation coming, as these companies get bigger and bigger and consolidate more and more, it's not good.
With Delta, the fact that they're still down is because they are so antiquated. They didn't use proper security, so the bad guys got a chance to exploit. They were using old, antiquated software, equipment, and that's what pretty much got them. The people that were up to date on their security, the ones that were up to date on their technology, they came right back as soon as they applied the patch. But that wasn't the case for Delta.
Right.
Still isn't. Delta still got problems.
All right. So the next story that I want to talk about is an interesting one. And it actually is about Temu, T-E-M-U. Now, Temu is just to let people know what Temu is, T-E-M-U. Now, if you haven't heard of Temu, then, well, you're not listening to online shopping very much because it's been around for a while. And what it is it's a company, it's part of a larger company, it's a subsidiary, and it actually has a market cap of almost $200 billion. And it's Pinduoduo is a very large China company, which actually this is a subsidiary of. But it is a big company, and more people in the United States used it than used what was the other one we were talking about earlier? The online shopping,
eBay.
eBay, yeah, and more people used it last year in the United States. It's taking shopping to a new level. Now, let me explain how it works. It basically works by shipping directly from China to you. In other words, you don't get the product for a few, probably 10 to 15 days as it comes in directly shipped from China to you. And the prices are extremely cheap, like really, really, really cheap for often the same product. And it's coming in because of a loophole in that the tariffs are, there's no tariffs or taxes if the product you're importing is under $800. So this creates a huge problem. So let me give you an example. Suppose Huey decided to sell this mug on Amazon, all right? And suppose Huey decided he went to China, he bought a container of these mugs, and these mugs cost him $2 a mug, and he was going to sell them on Amazon for $10 a mug. And so he would have to go over and he'd have to buy, let's say, a container full of these for $2 a mug, and he thinks that maybe I'll make $8. Well, the first thing he has to do is he has to bring them into the United States, which he has a tariff and taxes that he's got to pay. He's got to pay shipping, and then once he gets them there, he has to put them on. He wants to sell them on Amazon. Well, Amazon has all these fees as well. They have warehousing fees, storage fees, distribution fees, collecting your money fees, and so at the end of the day, his $10 mug that he's going to sell, and he's going to make maybe 50 cents on that, right? But if he sells 1 million of them, maybe he'll make some money, but 50 cents. But the mug is really sold on Temu for 99 cents, delivered right to Bob, who wants to buy this mug, for 99 cents, including shipping, right? So it is a crazy system. And well, the reason I want to talk about this today is because Amazon is seriously looking like, now Amazon's still big, they're still reputable, they've still got a good standing, but Temu is seriously nipping away at their heels, and they're going to be changing their marketing strategy over the next year to help solve this problem with Temu. So I think it's important that you understand what's happening and where we're going. Anyone, any comments on this? Huey, you got any thoughts?
What Amazon's going to try to do is compete with that 99-cent cup instead of the $10 cup.
Right.
And what's going to happen is that poor guy that bought the container, he's screwed.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Because Amazon will ship it directly from China, and it'll still be 99 cents, but we're going to be buying it from Amazon and not from Temu. And the guy that's got a whole bunch of it, he paid a lot of money for and was expecting to make some, he's not going to do it. He's going to lose it.
That's right.
Another thing to remember is Amazon does offer quality products.
Right.
You are not going to find quality products on Temu.
Right.
You'll find like products on Temu much, much cheaper. Right. And when the economy is the way it is, where you're pinching pennies, well, I don't care that this is not the brand name, but it looks like and it smells like. It may not act like, but it's close enough. I'll take the one for the cheaper price and wait a little bit longer for it to get to my house.
Ray, any comments?
Yes, you gave us a really good video to watch to kind of understand more about this. And I noted that it took the narrator 10 minutes and 25 seconds to finally mention the similarities between Temu and TikTok. Mainly that it's Chinese owned, therefore the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, could have access to Americans' personal data. So all the hoopla with TikTok, I think, can easily be directed to Temu. Now, I don't want to give my credit card to a Chinese company. Kim Commando, who many of us recognize and respect, she said, delete the app. The bargains are just not worth it. Temu looks to increase its market share by aiming at young buyers who might not be as sophisticated as us older folks. I don't think it's a safe place to do business.
I think you're right. And Bob told me, delete that app off your phone, which I did. Good advice, Bob. All right.
But I've ordered through the website and gotten product, get it not the fastest in the world, but it comes by a slow boat from China, and as my parents used to say, and I get it, and it's the product. I've only had one bad example, and that was I think a $2 Bluetooth mouse. Just I couldn't get it to work properly with any of my machines. But other than that, the few items that I've purchased have been what I expected they would be.
Okay. Well,
Those that
anyway.
didn't work for me, return was just as easy as it was with Amazon.
With Amazon, yeah.
And 2 items, they said, okay, here's your credit, immediate credit, but you can keep the items, give them to somebody else, which is exactly what I did.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to bring this up as this is going to be an interesting, as we move in the next year, we're going to see lots of changes occurring. The next article I want to talk about is dear to my heart, is Netflix. Now, the article, Netflix to start to phase out its basic ad-free plans in the U.S. Legacy subscribers in the U.S. and France will need to select a new plan. All right. To make a long story short on this story, is Netflix, of course, they were rolling along and they were doing sort of okay, but not really great. And so some great marketing guy decided, why don't we put ads in? And we'll start putting ads back into something. Remember, we're already paying Netflix so that we can have ad-free. That was the premise that we started to use Netflix. So no, they said, no, we're going to put a few ads in. They made so much money in that first quarter they did. They made like a ton of money. So they thought, this is a pretty good deal. We're just going to make it even better. So now, so they just let everyone know that there are more ads coming and it's going to cost you more to keep ad free. So this is anyway, so this is going to change. And so the new basic charge, US customers will have 3 plans to choose from. Basic with ads, which will be $7 a month. Ad-free standard, which is $15.50 a month, or premium, which is $23 a month. Now, I'm not going to go over this because we want to move on and we want to get on, but you can go on their site and you can see the difference between the 3. But I just want to let you know that it is ads are coming to Netflix. Any comments, Huey?
Just that I get Netflix free from T-Mobile as part of my service. It's
Right.
a freebie that they throw in. And so I get Netflix for free. So I watch a couple ads. I've been watching ads on TV since the 50s.
We originally got cable because they were going to do away with ads. That's why we got cable. Okay. Now I like to see you watch cable and not watch ads.
Yeah.
Now you probably watch more ads than you watch show.
Ray, any comments?
Yeah, but with cable, you have the fast forward. So you do what I do. You record everything. You don't watch anything live. And when the ads come on, you zip through them and they're not a problem. I don't mind ads from a service as long as they're at the beginning of the movie. And they can show me 5 minutes worth of ads. But if it's going to interrupt the movie, no, I won't watch that. And I won't pay for that. You know what I do? I go to the thrift store for $1. I buy a DVD movie. I put it on my Plex server. It's going to be there forever. I can watch it over and over and never pay another nickel for it.
Usually I can't make it through a movie without having to go to the bathroom. So while the ads are on, I can make a quick dash.
So good point, Huey.
All right. Huey, any
what you're doing to those ads, but I won't say it. It's a family show.
Any comments before we move on?
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at them.
Gerald Smith said most servers run on Linux. Okay, well, there you go. Murray Strom, good morning from Victoria, BC, Canada, where it is yet another beautiful, sunny, mild summer day. Mike Saunders, question, if I was in charge of a big company IT, I would always have AWS, MS, and Google backing up my cloud services. Good idea, Mike. Mike, I think you could get hired. Yeah, maybe you get a job. That's
Give that man a job.
Yeah, good idea. Richard says, Temu has an average rating of 2.5 out of 5 stars. Many recent complaints about Temu on Better Business site say that its items never arrive. Well, in fact, the Better Business
that problem.
But the Better Business Bureau has not endorsed Temu. It's not endorsed by the Better Business Bureau. All right. Gary, no problems with AliExpress. Exactly. But AliExpress isn't as cheap as Temu. The goal of Temu is that it's cheap, right? AliExpress is like Amazon. It's a delivery service, but not anyway. JJ, I've been using Temu over 2 years, but use the website and not the app. So far, no problems. Okay. Richard Clarkson, I won't be using Netflix. Okay. Murray Strom, I hate the ads at the beginning of movies in theaters. True.
I agree.
Yep. Jeff says, I use the streaming service from my local library, Hoopla and Canopy. It's free and no ads. Okay, let's get on with the articles we're going to go over today. We have, let me just bring up here. We'll bring this in and I'll refresh it.
Yep.
And we will refresh this and we'll come down.
Don't forget to turn off the left column.
List column, and we'll come down here. Bob, you got a video out defending against
cyber attacks and on infrastructure.
Okay.
This goes into the details. And unfortunately, the bad guys really, really go after infrastructure.
They do.
It affects all of us.
Just to remind everyone, if you want to follow us along on the articles that we're going to go through today, this is our Facebook. Just pop over to Facebook, and you can, of course, see the articles as we go along. Let's come down here. Ray, what? Amazon's going to charge us more?
Yeah, let me find that article. That's Amazon is going to charge for what they're calling Alexa AI.
Oh.
So that's the good news. They're releasing a newer version of Miss A with AI. The bad news is they want to charge $10 a month, a subscription fee for this upgraded version that will offer conversational generative AI. Now, my prediction is as long as there are free AI services like Copilot and the others, most consumers are not going to be opting to add this expense. We'll see.
One thing the article does say that it's up to $10, number one. And number two, they're still going to have the free service as it is today. So will people pay the extra money to be able to chat with it more than they can now? You can ask it questions, but you can't have a chat. And that's what this will be able to do.
My latest episode on Is Free Truly Free covers Amazon, and we cover exactly why free isn't necessarily free.
Yeah,
Ray,
excuse me, Ron. They have never made any money. It's always been a losing proposition with Miss A, and so what they want to do instead of doing away with it, at least try to make some money with it.
Yep.
Ray, did the article indicate that this would be backfit? You'd be able to use this on all the Amazon Echo devices, or is this a new crop of devices that is going to come out with this on?
I got the impression from reading the article that you'd be able to use it on existing ones. You wouldn't have to buy a new Echo.
Okay.
They'll just update the app.
All right. And then.
All right. So this article, we're on our Amazon here in Echo. The article points out that when the first Echoes were launched, and believe it or not, it was 2014, so they've been around for 10 years now. It was thought to be a means to sell more products from its marketplace, and they call this downstream impact, or DSI. But instead of increasing revenue with these kind of sales, most folks just check the weather or set alarms. So a former senior employee had the best quote, I thought. He said, basically, we hired 10,000 people and ended up building a smart timer.
Well, that's true, but that's very true. That is true, and that's what just most people use it for, right?
And that's why they're losing money.
Exactly,
Yep.
Exactly. And then we have, I think that's yours as well, Ray?
Yeah, just getting ready for the Windows 11 2024 update. This, of course, is going to be called 24H2, and it'll be coming out in the fall. And this article points out the top 5 features coming in this version. Now, the article says, quote, much needed quality of life improvements. I don't know about quality of life improvements for my computer, but I would say in my reading of it, they're mostly cosmetic. Still, it's a good article to read, so you'll know what to expect.
All right. I just don't want it measuring my blood pressure and my heart rate. It's a computer. It's an operating system to run. I don't want it doing all that. Just keep it simple.
That's
And
not a
then,
feature that's coming.
Yeah.
This I thought was interesting. Here is the world's fastest mini PC. Now, most know I'm a fan of mini PCs, buying my own a year or so ago. This is called the Optiplex 7010, and it has an i9 14th generation processor. So that's why it's considered the fastest mini PC on the market. A big surprise when I read this is a Dell product, but is only available on Amazon and not from Dell Computers.
Oh.
But the sale price is $2,199. So this is truly geared as a business PC. If you want to read all the specs, you have to read the article.
But you could probably put this in the palm of your hand, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm sure it's 5 inches by 5 inches, something like that.
Right. Amazing, eh?
That's going to take off. I think people will be buying these in the future rather than the big units, unless they really need lots of fans. But if you don't need the fans, mini PCs are the way to go.
Huey, how to write chat? What's a prompt?
Prompt is what gives you what you get when you're doing AI or artificial intelligence. And the prompt is the most important part of the whole thing, other than, of course, what it's doing. But you've got to know how to word your prompt to get the results that you want. And this is an article on how to do it better and get the results that you're looking for. Thought it was a good article, and I'll probably look at it more closely and share what I find.
If you like my videos, it's because I came up with the right prompts.
Right.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be what they are.
Can you ask Chat GPT what are the best prompts to get this information from Chat GPT?
Yep.
Really? Oh, that's cool. Okay. I'll have to try that. And this is cool. What's this all about here?
Yeah, you know what? I'm still trying to understand this, but there's a new Chat GPT 4.0, but it's called Mini, and it's an AI model released by OpenAI, and it's got a smaller basis to it, but it's very powerful and is giving some really good answers. What I'm thinking that this is, and I don't quite totally understand it, but what it is, it's one of those that you can install on your chat or your Copilot PC and run it locally, because it's a much smaller based, because most of the articles are talking about how it works and not how to use it.
But I also think it's cheaper. I also think there's a lower cost to.
Yeah, it doesn't cost. And when you say it's cheaper, it doesn't mean you go out and you buy it and it doesn't cost you as much money. It doesn't cost as much to run it and get the results. In other words, all of the fees that are involved in the looking through all of the history and everything, using a lot of power and all the NVIDIA stuff and so on, and it's not using as much. So the cost per information is less. There's another good article. If you use Microsoft's Copilot, it's some information on some of the best ways to accomplish what you're looking for.
All right.
And this one is how to easily transfer everything from your Android to your iPhone. If you go from an Android to an iPhone, it's difficult to move your data across. This article explains how to do it.
All right.
And again, if you use Microsoft 365, This article has some tips and tricks for beginners of Microsoft, which is the old Office 365, which is the old Microsoft Office.
Little confusing there, Huey.
Oh, absolutely. They throw numbers around, change titles, like I drink water.
That's right. You'd think they'd be able to get that right. Ring Amazon's Prime Video interface updates has promised to make it easier to tell what's included.
Yeah, one of the problems with the interface on your TV, if you're a Prime user and use the Prime channel, it's kind of difficult to know what's free, what costs you money, and how much it's going to cost you. And apparently, they're updating the experience online when you're streaming. You'll be able to tell what movies are part of the Prime and that are free, and which ones you got to pay rent or buy.
I never can figure it out. I just buy them. I can never figure it out. But okay.
I just can't justify paying any money for a movie. It's not like there's nothing else to watch.
Yeah, but when your wife is sitting next to you and say, "We got to watch this. This is it." That's the problem. Is that okay? Microsoft. This is yours here.
I believe so. Let me get down to it. Yeah, it is. And Microsoft's adding AI-powered summaries. When you do a regular just Bing search, you're not using the chat or the Copilot. And what they're going to do is similar to what Google does. When you get the results at the top, there's going to be like an AI summary of what you're looking for. Google does it now. Microsoft's adding it.
So did we see Mike Ungerman on? Mike wasn't on. He's our big Proton Mail guy that highly recommends that. We've had a few news articles about Proton Mail and Proton in the last year, but they're launching a self-custodial Bitcoin wallet. 100 million Proton Mail users can now receive Bitcoin via email. So I thought that was interesting. I guess the question is this trustworthy? I guess the whole thing, I don't own any Bitcoin, but if I did and I wanted to store it somehow, I guess I would be so worried that I don't understand the technology. Is this safe? I don't know. So anyway, this is
some of it's so safe people can't get into their account and they've lost it all. No one can get in it. I just there's a couple of reasons I haven't done anything with Bitcoin. Number one is I don't have any money, so that eliminates that part of it. But number two is I just it's a hard concept for me to get away from the using of actually U.S. backed money, and I'm just very leery of the whole thing.
As to change the topic, we've my new Pixel. For those of you who weren't on the show last week or didn't listen to it, I talked myself in the middle of the show. We were going through all the phones, and I talked myself into buying a Pixel 8 Pro anyway, because we talked about the Pixel 9 and all the leaks that have come out about the Pixel 9. However, one of the things that's clear, probably it's going to affect iPhones, Pixel, is the whole thing about connecting to satellite. So one of the new features coming out on all these new phones will be their ability to connect not only with SOS, but they're talking about being able to send text messages over a satellite connection. Now, the question, though, is would you be willing to pay for this? And it looks as though, and this is all leaked, but we'll be covering the story in 2 weeks, is that it looks as though Google's going to, for the Pixel phones, will be 2 years support for free. So, and that will be, but the whole issue of the new Android 15 and the new iOS coming out is all going to be related to a lot of it's going to be related to satellite support with these phones.
So if you're out in the middle of absolutely nowhere, there is no cell, you can still wind up getting help because you're connected through the satellite.
Yeah, but will that continue to be free? And that's the question. Huey, can you roll down? I can't see the next article. Can you just scroll down there and
let me catch up here? Is this the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I can't see that. Is that the one just below the other? Just go up, back up, and let me see.
No,
the other way. The other way.
I know my thing went crazy. Okay, yeah, that's the one we just did. Yeah,
down for,
this
this
one.
is one.
It's
five
you.
Yep, this was a good article. 5 useful new iOS 18 features, from motion sickness fixes to satellite texting, that will be coming out. For those of you, actually, it'd be interesting if anyone has an iPhone. Has anyone played with the motion sickness feature, in which they actually can help you with when you're driving in the car, and you shouldn't be doing this while you're driving, but if you are the passenger and you're getting motion sick, it has a feature on there to help you with motion sickness. So be interesting if anyone out there is listening has actually used that feature. That would be really cool. I'd like to know how it works.
Is that available on version 17, or is it just going to be on 18?
Oh, I think it's available now. That's my intent. That's my idea. Okay. Yeah. But it's so I'd like to know. Anyway, just scroll down Finally, Google suddenly says it will purge the worst Android apps in the Play Store. Now, I guess my question is, what does worst mean? Does worst mean they're not making enough money for Google? Like, I'm not quite sure what worst means, but good news if it's garbage they're getting rid of. Bad news if it's low payment apps that are really good. So I'm not quite sure if that's a good deal or not. Anyone had any thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, Google has a habit of discontinuing usually good things and keeping the crap.
Yeah, right. So I'm not sure that's a good thing or not. Anyway, well, this is interesting. Apple may ditch Qualcomm's 5G modems in some 2025 iPhones. Well, they're going to start making their own modems, and they're going to be moving away from the Qualcomm, and will all be incorporating that in, because of course they make their own chips now. They're M series chips because they're making their own. So that will move away from Qualcomm's. Huey, have we got? Let's catch up on our comments.
Okay, let's see where we were last. I don't know if we did this one or not.
Jeff,
we did. That was the last one. Okay, that was the last one.
Richard Clarkson says you don't have to use the new AI on Alexa. You don't have to have it, right?
It'll be
optional. Diane says, what is the best deal for Microsoft Office? I saw somewhere you could buy 2019 for lifetime, or is it best to buy 365? I like Publisher, which is not always going to be available. However, I did research and recommended Microsoft Office Sway. What is Sway? Diane, I don't know the answer. I mean, this is a whole bunch of research you'd have to do to now my worry would be if you bought 2019 with all the new features coming out with this service, would this really be a good deal? And I guess I don't know the answer to that.
Let me comment if I can. So 2019 is a disc. It's the old-fashioned disc that you get. That's why you have it for lifetime, because you purchased a disc that you load on your computer, but it'll never get any more updates. That's what it will be for the remainder of time. So I think you could get little as $10 a month a subscription to Office 365.
Right.
They have them where you can share them with 7 or 8 other people. I mean, There's always ways to where I think it's a good deal, and that way you'll always have the latest versions. As far as Sway goes, I actually did a presentation probably 3 years ago using Sway, and Sway for me, and I'll be happy to contact you directly and give you more information about it. But to me, it's an alternative to PowerPoint, but where you can tell a story about what the product or this whatever you're referring to. It gives you the ability to make it more of a story than just slides.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. One, I like to use Publisher as well, but the desktop publishing world is basically gone away or is going away, and there are other products you can use with AI that will do some of what you, but just not the same way. So there's a learning curve. And the other thing is you can use Microsoft Office, which is the 365 online, and you don't have to pay for it at all. And it works. Most of the things that you probably need or want will actually work from it. So you might want to look at that first before you decide which one to get.
Good point.
It also depends on which Office products you actually use.
True.
I don't use the entire suite. So, if you don't use one and it's only available if you do this, who cares? Now, if you need that particular product, you're pretty much limited as to what choices you have. So that's what you have to weigh. Do I really need the expensive one? I don't use those features. Or, gee, I use those features, and you might have to go with the 365.
Or take a look at the Google programs. They have a Google Sheets and Google Docs, and they also have one that's like a PowerPoint. I don't know if they have a publisher type one or not.
I'd like to move ahead, Huey, so that we can get back to some articles. Bill James. Oh, Bill James is here. Good morning from Oklahoma
City.
Excellent.
And that's it.
That's good. Can you, I can't see the next article. Can you bring that up for me?
It was you.
Yeah. Huawei is I think we talked about this last week. Huawei is going to initiate a trifold smartphone as Apple weighs in on a foldable. So we'll be seeing probably this fall Apple release its foldable phone, but Huawei is going to have a trifold, which is interesting. Which I think will probably be pretty popular. Reddit, this was interesting. Reddit is blocking AI search engines, including Bing, because they're not getting paid. So it is pay up or you're not going to be able to see Reddit.
Yeah, and what they're eliminating or blocking is the fact that the AI search engines search the Reddit files, and they're stopping that. It's not the fact that you can't use AI when you're doing you're in Reddit, but it's for other services to search on Reddit.
Right. Now, in the history of CEO blunders, this will go down in the history of being, if you were teaching CEOs how to behave, this will go down in bad news. Let's have a look here. Ray, I keep telling cable's going away. Ray doesn't believe me, but I wrote this in for Ray. AT&T 5G home internet adds 140,000 customers as AT&T moves to shut down its DSL service in some areas. So it is mind-blowing that AT&T, and they do this because they can get away with it, still sells in some areas the real slow old ADSL, which is just, this is like an old system that you should not be paying for. It's terrible.
But you have to remember that the federal government is stopping AT&T from discontinuing that old service.
Anyway,
California wanted to stop the POTS, the plain old telephone system in California, and the government wouldn't let them.
Yep. So anyway, just to let you know, Ray, they're definitely moving to home internet is where you want to be. This was an excellent article. You guys probably saw this. We talked about this a lot. We've done a lot of coverage on this show. We did a whole show. I did a video about it last week on our Monday show. Kim Commando this is really a good article. Should you splurge on Copilot and an AI PC? summarize it is, unless you have a specific requirement for something that you're going to use this for, it's probably not a good idea. It's more money, and it probably just isn't worth it at the same time. But you can read the article. It's a really good article.
Watch my video.
And Bob has a video about it as well. So just be careful with that. Plastic bottles are a problem. So Bob did a video about it.
Yeah, this is the alternate uses. Don't throw them away. There's many, many things you can use empty plastic bottles for.
You missed a couple, Ron.
Yeah, missed quite a few.
Did I?
Yep.
Go back.
Come over to me.
Okay.
Okay, this one was from you, Ron.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Google is they've just renewed their what is it? Waymo. Right. We had Waymo for quite a while in Mesa when I was there, and Waymo cars were running around. Anyway, they've just put a whole bunch of money back into the Waymo program, and is going to keep it going. I thought that was interesting. And they're self-driving cars.
I still would be afraid of driving a self-driving car. That
was going to be one of my computer. That's going to be one of my computer excursions at Silveridge. If I was still there, we were going to take a Waymo around and try it. Now this is really cool. I think, why are we not doing more of this? Meta just axed 63,000 Nigerian-based Instagram accounts that engaged in sextortion. Now, why can't we do more of this? Isn't that crazy? 63,000.
Yep. Part of what I'll be doing on Monday.
Well, I better not talk about this then. Let's go on to the next one. I'm going to deal with that. All right. There we are. Back to I think we did that one.
Yeah.
And we talked about this before. Yeah. The Pixel phones with the satellite service. Yeah, we talked about that. Right. And this is the next, I talked a little bit about this earlier, but the next step in smartphone evolution is going to cost us a pretty penny, but we're going to space. So as we move forward with these new batch of the S25s for the Samsung, the Pixel 9 coming out, we're going to be seeing, and the iPhone as well, we're going to be seeing connection to satellite to space. And this is going to be the biggie. And we will see the worst kept secret is always Pixel phones when before release. So we'll be seeing a Pixel Fold, I guess not a Flip, but a Pixel Fold will be out in 2 weeks. So Samsung's Galaxy phones stop you from side-loading Android apps. Bob talks about this all the time, and this is so important. Please do not side-load apps. Load them from the Play Store. And Samsung, I guess, won't allow you.
If a company isn't willing to go through the scrutiny of having their product checked to make sure it doesn't do bad things on your phone, I wouldn't want it on my phone to start off with. And side loading is bypassing lots of security checks.
Good point.
And we saw that before. Huey, we saw
now that doesn't mean that all apps that are there that you side load are necessarily bad. But how do you know which one is and which one is not?
Right. This was an article from Tom's Guide sent in by a viewer who wanted us to show this article. Surfshark. Do you have you heard of that, Bob? Tom's Guide did this as a VPN review, and it was quite a favorable review. I guess if you are interested in a VPN, you might want to have a look at this article and consider Surfshark, I guess, Surfshark, sorry, as possible. Let's move on to the next one. Get as many as he's in. This is sort of interesting. Google Play Store is really changing the menu system and the what do you call it? Yeah, The Play Store is changing the Play Store and the how it's laid out, and so it's more effective, and you can sort of get things organized a little bit better. So you'll see menu changes in that. You can look at the app if you want. Tech for Senior, the place to be. Another video from Bob.
That's actually a music.
That's your music. We're gonna play that.
AI.
Right. We're gonna play that Monday. I don't want to talk about that. Come and watch the show on Monday. I'm gonna play that on Monday. So phase out basic ads. We talked about that. Talked about that article. Talked about that.
And we're at to the top of the hour.
We are, but just we got 2 minutes.
We got a couple of comments I want to get to as well.
Okay. Google Play Store expands payments option with Cash App integration. Oh, so this was interesting. Again, most of us assume that everyone has a credit card. So if you wanted to pay and buy something in the Google Play Store, it would be a problem if you didn't have a credit card. So this is a Cash App integration to one of the cash services. So you can, of course, it's going to help. It's a good thing, and it will help you with that. Okay, let's get to the final. I'm going to stop the share. Play Store now accepts Cash App as a payment option. Okay. All right. Bill James, publisher is included in some versions of Office 365, but publisher is going away in 2026. The other one was, just hold on before we get to JJ here. We talked last week about Microsoft Designer, right? And I used it this week, and I'll be darned, is that ever a good program? And if you haven't tried Microsoft,
that a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, it's like Canva. It's a Canva lookalike. It really is very similar to Canva. So just let everyone know it's worth it. I really thought it was pretty cool. I enjoyed using it this week. Bill James says, right. Okay. Let's go to JJ's. What happened to JJ?
There we go.
Affinity has a publisher program that rivals Microsoft Publisher. It has all the features and may be a new learn curve for us old Microsoft Publisher users. Bill James, after October, the publisher will no longer be included. Oh, we talked about that. Yeah, we got that. In June 2016, Microsoft with a web-based version called Microsoft Office Sway. There we go. That's the relation. Murray Strom, every time I've tried VPNs, too many of the websites I use fail to work. In particular, none of my bank sites.
Because your banks want you to be in a certain place.
That's right.
And a VPN doesn't have you where you should be. So
Murray Strom says in Google Photos, the sharpen tool no longer there. All right. I think yes, we're top of the hour. It is I guess it's time to go. Do you want to go? Do you want to do another hour, you guys?
Next week. Let me take a nap first.
Next week.
Next week. All right. Anyway, listen, we want to thank everyone for coming and listening. We do appreciate you listening to us. Thank you, Huey, for being here. Thank you, Bob, for being here. Thank you, Ray. Thank you so much. It's always a fun to get together. There we go. It's fun to get together and talk on Thursday. Please, if you haven't come to our Monday show, please, remember, this is our website. Go there and you can find all the information on our Zoom meeting for Monday. We're going to have a great show for you on Monday. Otherwise, we will be back the same time, same place here next week. And I'll have my new Pixel 8 Pro phone to show everybody.
Special thanks to
you guys excited? Aren't you guys excited?
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Special thanks to Michael Daniels.
Yes.
For his donation.
Yes. Thank you, Michael.
Give his show a look once. It's got some interesting stuff with his tips.
Excellent. Deb Shannon says, thank you, guys. Thank you, Deb. And thank you, Deb, for your donation the other day. That was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We do appreciate. All right. We'll see you same time, same place next week.
Bye all.
Bye-bye.
So long.